Hello, welcome to my channel. My channel is called Serenity and Strength, and it will cover my experiences as a widow intertwined with my wellness journey. My name is Joyce Onyango, and my husband was a Luo from Kenya. Kenya is in East Africa. I hope that you have watched the first recording, because in that recording, I have actually extensively explained why I am undertaking this particular journey. This particular recording, I'm going to talk about how my widowhood journey started. But one of the things I would just like to say is that through this experience, I have realized even more how God is always with you and how His grace is always sufficient. A lot of times we don't realize that, and it's only when we're in sometimes quite desperate situations, and then we look back later on to see how we got through it, and we realize that it's only through God that we're able to manage. So we always need to keep that in mind and always give Him the praise and glory. At the beginning of the journey, my journey of widowhood, both my husband and myself were working in Botswana. Um, just a couple also of things that would give some kind of a background as well. My mother passed on in 1999, and he and my husband were very good friends. Unfortunately, my husband wasn't able to attend the funeral. I attended it alone in Uganda, and he kept on saying he needed to visit my father. In end of 2000, he had some things to do in Kenya, which he went and did. And then beginning of 2001, he asked me to join him so that we could travel together with him. So I traveled with my daughter, the youngest one. She was just about almost 3 years old. We traveled, went and stayed with my sister and her husband in Kampala, and were making daily visits to my father. At the end of the visit, we traveled back to Kenya and then traveled back to Gaborone. Now, as we were approaching Gaborone, the plane was approaching Gaborone, and we thought we were going to land. We actually had an aborted landing. The tires of the plane had actually come out, and we were going to land, but we didn't actually land. And the plane just took off again, circled, and then came back and managed to land. But in the process, the emergency services, fire engine, all those things were all there. Now, throughout the time that we were making the trip to Uganda, to Kenya and Uganda and back, I kept on having a foreboding feeling. So when this happened, I thought to myself, this should have been, the reason. This must be the reason for the feeling that I was having, because my heart would just keep on, I'd have a sinking feeling all the time. So then I thought to myself, it must have been because of that. And I even remember telling my husband the same. Then something else that also happened, around the beginning of 2001, also normally January to April, that would be the time when would actually have the semester at the university. And at the time, I was just completing off my master's program. So we had the semester without any issues. The results came out, and I had passed, and I managed to get my results from the faculty. After getting the results, I think about a few days later, maybe 3 or so, I happened to pass through my husband's office, and Soon as he got in, he told me, you know what? The results are up on the notice board. Let's go and have a look. And I'm like, have you forgotten that I shared my results and I've already gotten my results? He says, no, I haven't forgotten. I know you've got your results, but you know what? It's much more exciting to go and see the results on the notice board. So let's go. So we went, saw the results, and he had a very loud, booming voice. So he was, saying, look at your marks, you've done so well, that kind of thing. And we met also a couple of students who were in the same class as me. So they were also looking at the marks and saying, oh, you guys, you've really done well, you're all going to graduate, that kind of thing. So because of the way he was talking and whatnot, we also got in the excitement and, we were congratulating each other and feeling good. Yeah. Then the last thing that I recall later on was ever since we'd been in Botswana, and I think that was now the fourth year. It was the fourth year. We had never attended graduation. In fact, the closest we came to attending was there was a ceremony that was held to award Nelson Mandela an honorary degree, and we attended that. So he says that was October 2000. You know what? Next year you're going to graduate. We need to go and attend this graduation so that you have a dry run. I told him, dry run? Really, really? And he says, yeah, let's go and see what it's like. It's going to be good. Let's go and see. So we went, attended the graduation, and he was pointing out, that's where, the master students, where they were sitting, when they were being called and whatever. He said, that's where you're going to sit next year, and I'll be here with the children, that kind of thing. So we attended the graduation, and it was just me and him. Didn't go with the children. And then we went back home. So all these now came to my mind much later on after it actually passed on.